Hello and welcome to the PC Perspective Podcast. This is episode 841, being recorded on October 22, 2025. I'm Sebastian Peak.
I'm Jeremy Hellstrom.
I'm Josh Walrath.
I'm Brett Van Smernberg.
I don't care how large is the room. I cast Fireball and make it go boom. I'm Kent Burgess.
I think he's working on that one for a while, I think.
Yeah, it was a bit of a delayed blast, but it came out.
Kent, true or false, you have Post-it notes with different sayings all around your CRT
those
monitor.
Clearly, those are 3x5 cards, and he just riffs them.
No.
Who can afford Post-it notes in this economy?
Actually, no. Just some sayings that come up in my life around the time of the show that I'm like, I'm going to remember that one and use it for my intro.
It is now the Patreon segment of our podcast already. I know, shocking. We're going to ask you all to give generously to the cause of keeping the PC Perspective Podcast alive, if you want to. And if you don't, that's fine. But you can be like, what did you guys do with Jim's body?
Oh, that's not really a question. That's actually somebody's alias. Although they may be curious. They may be curious.
You can change your name to anything you want when you change your donation or add one. Mm-hmm. And that's what they
And if you can figure out the secret code during this podcast, you might actually get an answer.
If you give generously enough, we will tell you what we did with Jim's body.
Yeah. But right now, it is a closely guarded secret.
Wait, okay, we can at least hint
you can ask
as to which building or parking lot he's buried under. Oh, also W. Farnes. Welcome to Micro Center.
Yeah, because he sent us some pictures of the new Micro Center that they're building in his area, and I thought that was like, you go. You got to like that engagement.
That Phoenix.
He knows the score. Phoenix, that is correct.
Yeah.
W. Farms is in the Phoenix area and sent us a few pictures of the Micro Center in progress, where he's very excited to shop till he has no disposable income left.
Food with Josh is the next segment. Josh, please take it away.
All right. So I went down to Born in a Barn, and Clayton, the owner, came up to me and he apologized. Like, I just didn't have any time this week to put together a special burger. So I got the popper. And let me tell you, it happily tasted much better than it looked, because everything's just kind of taupe in this picture. I mean, the cream cheese, there was a lot of it. Those are some nice candied, crunchy jalapenos. Quite tasty. The burger was perfectly cooked. The inside of the buns were toasted. But of course, because they wrap them up rather tight in the paper, they get munched a little bit. So it doesn't, not terribly appealing. The fries, though, were nicely cooked. And they need to work on their seasoning. Wasn't seasoned very much, so had to add some of my own. Otherwise, it's a classic popper. A little sweet, a little savory, a little spicy. It's all in there. And again, it always fills me up to the brim.
Thank you, Josh. And let's move immediately to the PC Perspective news desk. And our first story comes via videocards.com. AMD Ryzen 9000G series may debut with Kraken point APUs. Those data miners who are going through AGESA 1.2.7.0 apparently found the references to this. But I mean, the big story here, AGESA 1.2.7.0. Yet
Yay!
Yes.
Another BIOS update.
It's too bad that they didn't call it the Quacken. I think that would be much more amusing. But no. Plus, it's spelled wrong for Kraken. I don't know.
That's why Quacken would make more sense.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, maybe Kraken Point is an actual place in the world rather than the Kraken. I don't know. I'm guessing so.
I think Old Spice already makes a thermal paste for it called Kraken Guard.
Yes.
Oh, you mean this?
How do you have it literally right there? with the broken pump on top.
Hey, you don't leave your shampoo in the shower in a Turkish prison.
Are you in the bathroom right now?
I have been looking for an excuse to use this, and Kent served it up on a gilded platter.
But did you two plan this, or do you literally podcast from? Like,
you know about the
edge of your
3x5
shower?
cards. You know about the 3x5 cards. You've been told.
Okay, so I guess the two of you are the only ones who have prepared content. Like, I don't know. I feel like Josh is more spontaneous with his material, but
I told you tonight I'm actually only wearing one contact lens also, so you're all pretty blurry right now.
sticking with video cards and Ryzen processors, but something a lot more exciting. Ryzen 9 9950X3D2 dual 3D V-cache SKU, and also a 9850X3D with a 5.6 gigahertz boost. These are both reportedly in the works, according to Chilled Dog. Data miner, I'm assuming.
Does everyone with a 9800X3D now need to go out and get the 9850X3D just to remain on top?
No, but you need the X3D squared, so you get dual 3D V-cache.
There you go.
Where's the 3D
200 watts.
D2. Yeep.
I remember the old FX 9950. Wait a minute. Is somebody pulling our leg? The FX 9950 was a 200 watt TDP CPU.
Did they just glue on some 3D V-cache and just let it go?
I don't know.
Or tiled
Didn't
it
we
on?
have the rumor about 6 months ago of this same thing and nothing ever?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think
Grand
we had
assault,
the
everyone.
rumor. I think we had the rumor prior to 9000 series that the 9950 and 9900 were going to have X3D
Double the-
V-cache on both dies.
Yeah.
But of course, that did not occur.
There's been so many reports about it. Did they officially announce it or not? I don't remember now.
No.
Okay.
This is rumor,
No, it's the same rumor.
but
They
it's
didn't
going to be
mention
a
it, but they probably got it from
monster.
video cards too.
It's going to be a monster. What they say.
Yes. Yields will be the issue here. And what I'm curious about is, will there be any additional tweaking you have to do with Windows, or will it just be like, oh, no, it doesn't matter. The scheduler
This is
doesn't
going to be
matter.
better.
It doesn't matter. It's not going to work properly. You
Well,
can
will there
tweak
be
all you want. It
core
will still have
latency
issues.
issues at all?
I'm going to have to agree with Jeremy. That's my guess. If I had to guess, that's what I'm
You might be able to make it less broken, but that's all we're offering.
Speaking of broken, now this is not an insecurity corner story. This just affected everybody.
Nope.
It affected me. It affected
Misconfigured
probably
DNS is not a virus.
dozens of
It's
people
human
around the
caused.
world, or at least around the country, were affected by
around the world.
AWS, a massive outage. Tons of services went
AWS
down.
stands for we suck.
Oh,
So that's one of the nice things about living on the West Coast is that by the time I woke up, it had already been figured out what was going on and was actually starting to be repaired. But
like a
people
wave
overseas
coming through the
who
ocean.
first got it. Yeah.
The brokenness was continued to move through different systems.
It was it was more of a tsunami than just a normal wave either. And people don't realize how much this really affected. Both my wife and I work in behavioral health facilities, for different companies, and both of us had software that was affected by this, which is just frightening in its own part that software in behavioral health is going through Amazon workstation servers. I don't understand it.
Well, how else
But
are
of
they going to
course-
train Alexa?
But of course, I also had one of my coworkers who is not super tech savvy, but understood enough and simply said, Amazon has too much power. And, they might very well be right. Just saying.
In the interconnectedness of things, it's hard to get away from like that XKCD cartoon from a while ago with the tiny little peg holding up so much infrastructure. It's you rely on a couple of different microservices as part of your platform build or your application build. It doesn't seem like it's a problem until that little microservice, tends to go away.
I think it's more like Coyote and Roadrunner, where the Coyote is sitting under that 1,000-ton trap that was supposed to crush the Roadrunner, and you just watch the fibers sort of snip and snap as he stands underneath it. I think they're more like that. It's not the tiny little thing that knocked itself out. It's the giant things jangling that you hope stays up there, because if it comes down, it's going to hurt.
Well, they were throwing out numbers like 20 or 30+% of the internet.
Yes.
Where's the other 20 or 30, where's the next 20 or 30%? What single point of failure does that flow through? And you can name them. You know who it is. It's Microsoft servers. That it's Google servers. Azure for Microsoft. Those are the immediate other two that come to mind. Yeah. So there's basically three. Then it's divided into thirds, roughly. Probably.
Because there's a bunch of AWS stuff that's not public. It's what corporations run off of. And guess what? They were dead in the water. But on the bright side, for about 45 minutes an hour, Roblox was finally safe for children again. It's not.
It was offline, Jeremy.
Exactly.
Jeremy was offline.
Yes, that is the only way to make it safe for children.
But yeah, so you have a bunch of people, but also just a lot of companies in the behind the scenes. So, and if you paid attention, you can find out who is running AWS, because suddenly they went down.
Yeah. Or something that you didn't know relied on financial services, games. Sometimes it's just for login or authentication purposes. You don't know which part of their stack fell down when AWS went offline.
I believe Josh did not enjoy that Monday at all.
I bet he didn't.
It was the only thing we really had on there, other than some third-party stuff that not too many people used, our Dell Tech. And of course, payday week, people need to submit their timesheets from the week before, and nobody was able to do that Monday.
Oh,
it seems like such a benign application. Why not host that in a commercial space?
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Dell Tech.
Usually it's okay. From a downtime perspective, most of the providers have been fairly robust.
Except
most of the time, except when they're not. Then you know.
Well, I realized that when we stopped referring to the number of nines for uptime, that's just, there might be a 9 in there, but it's probably at the far end.
Unfortunately, this might blow the nines off. So really, the problem here was it was a connectivity to a database, and DNS got wrecked.
Because it's never DNS. Oh wait,
it's always networking. I think it started with a networking issue, then went to DNS, and that was it. From what I've read.
Yeah, they still have 90% uptime. That's got to be worth something.
That's a 9. That does have a 9 in there.
Yeah, it is a single 9.
Yep. I mean, the longer amount of time that you pull that average out, the more 9s that might be. 95.9999.
9.
Speaking of 9 contains an 8 and a 1. Am I correct about that? What else has a 1
in German?
8? What else has a 1 and an 8? 18A, 18 angstrom. Intel, now you know that their Foundry has not had a lot of customers for their new 18A until now, because they have reportedly secured a major order from a big company that you may have heard of, Microsoft.
Because Microsoft makes a lot of hardware. Well, they make some.
They want
hardware.
to. Maya 3 accelerator. Is that how this is pronounced? MAIA 3. I'm sure this is all AI related.
Yeah, probably.
Microsoft's first generation Maya 100 chips were produced using TSMC's N5 process. They're going for the 18A. 18 angstrom, roughly equivalent to 1.8 nanometer.
And when we're talking about processor tech, it's very roughly.
Yes. And hey, maybe they're better than like 20% yields at this point. What if Intel just made Microsoft an unbelievable deal and just said, you can have it for like half price, just so we can keep the Foundry going? work through yield
Got to
issues.
keep it filled up. I mean, if these fabs aren't running 24/7, 365, they're losing money because you just can't stop the fab for a shift. It just doesn't work that way. I mean, wafers need to be in, either being processed or being transferred or being stored in the back. I know for the ages, AMD actually had kind of a special storage area for lower, just not as important wafers that they were able to do like 50,000 wafer starts a month, just because of they had a really good software inventory system that knew exactly where every big. Gosh, why can't I think of any of the words? I'm not even drunk. Haven't even been drinking today.
There's your problem.
The big wafer caddies. They know where they're at and, how many orders are in and what needs to go where and when. And I mean, they were super efficient with that. And they, that was a big deal back in the day. But yeah, you got to keep them busy. You can't shut them down. Otherwise you're wasting a lot of money and you're spending a lot of money in just the downtime. It's not good. So anyway,
the silicon must flow.
It must, or you're losing a lot of money. Or you have to jack your wafer prices up.
Or both.
They're doing that. They're doing that. So,
Oh, okay, good.
On their successful chips.
That's right.
I'm sorry. I said the
14th gen. But that's just
13th,
consumer stuff.
13th,
but everything I've read about 18A is physically, it's kind of beaten up on the N3 and approaching, I think, N2 stuff from TSMC. So it's a positive thing if they can get it out the door in a timely manner and get the tools to the people wanting to design chips. Fingers crossed.
Next up from Tom's Hardware, Windows 11 October update. To preface this, I think it was last week we talked about the fact that the Windows Media Creation tool was broken.
That's right.
Maybe that was 2
That's
weeks ago.
right.
Yes. On the 7.
That's
10,
apparently,
rather.
maybe that's fixed. I don't know. Use Rufus anyway. But this update broke the Windows recovery environment. So you can't use USB keyboards and mice, fairly common these days. But if you're one of those people who has PS2 peripherals, then you're fine.
Yeah, those still work.
No, I don't know that it would.
Well, it specifically says USB keyboards and mice unusable in Windows.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. So the PS2
So in other words, if you have a
would-
real computer with a PS2 port and an IBM,
you're not running Windows 11 October builds.
I'm sorry. Did you
maybe
just
not.
challenge me to a polled IO throwdown with your IRQs? Is that what you just did?
if that's how you want to interpret it, then yeah.
You're going to break out the rare PCIe serial cards so that you can hook up an old serial mouse to it.
Yeah, the true
hope the
gamers
driver
really they don't use USB at all. I mean, it's terrible, right? For latency purposes, it's
Maybe
pulled
they're
IO.
on-
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Maybe
sorry,
on
deep cut.
Bluetooth.
Yeah, probably on Bluetooth.
Yeah. So yes, another roadblock. This is the problem with Windows as a service, though. This is what Microsoft wanted. They wanted this flexible, liquid kind of OS. They're constantly tweaking it and changing it and sending down those updates to your PC, and
Without testing them, I think you might want to
without
add.
testing them. Yeah. Well,
Without
you're
testing them.
testing them. They knew about this because people like us reported it to them. Well, I mean, once they figured out how to get their keyboard and mouse working, they reported it to them.
Yeah, because you hardly ever end up in Windows RE. I mean, never.
So
and it hardly ever helps.
The question is now that they've stopped sending updates and security updates to Windows 10. Is Windows 10 actually now more secure than Windows 11?
No, but it's
by
more stable.
obscurity. Yes.
Oh, it's not obscure. It's barely under half, but it's more stable because you won't get hit with a bizarre update that just
Europe is still
breaks
getting
everything.
Windows 10 patches, by the way. Just want to point that out.
Well, they have.
Of
the
course they
EU.
are.
Okay.
Louis
I mean, they
Rossman's
exist.
starting
You wanna pay for 'em.
a campaign to extend that, by the way, to the home country. That's here in the U.S. By the
Oh,
way,
it's his home country is the
Good
US?
for him.
Okay.
yeah, and Microsoft's.
Yeah.
Just
Redmond.
illegally export them from the EU. Download it, send a copy over here, and we can spread it.
Like a gray market build of Windows 10.
For totally legitimate Windows updates for
I like
Windows
it.
10.
They'll be
There's
region
now we
locked.
have
I'm sorry, that's a region 2 Windows update. We
Yeah,
only use region 1.
new reason to NordVPN your Windows into the European space.
Yes.
All right.
I think you would have had to set it up saying that you were in a European country, but I bet you that would actually work.
What's going to happen with a laptop traveler? You know, say they go from the U.S. to the
Because of the Windows
EU.
setup, you have to say what country you're in.
Yeah.
And so that's where licensing and stuff goes off. So if you'd said, I'm sitting here in Frankfurt,
But that
Germany,
means
when
that
you
a
set it up.
Windows 11 laptop or a Windows 10 laptop that is unsupported in the US that travels to Europe with its owner and connects to European networks, that means it makes the European networks vulnerable. So they should then extend support.
Oh,
actually
I
true.
like this argument.
Actually true.
So anything connecting in the EU should then be forcibly updated.
Isn't international airfare just a small price to pay for the security of having a fully updated Windows 10 laptop from 2001?
I would like to know
At least you didn't give
specifically
the money to Microsoft.
where the line is. I'm on a cruise ship or I'm on a ship going across the ocean. Where do I go from not supported to, now we've got to patch you? Think about that.
I believe there's a line. It might even have a name.
All right. Moving on to more Windows news, which somehow is not a security story. Weird authentication failures. Could be that Microsoft doesn't like duplicate SIDs anymore.
No, again, this was not a vulnerability. This was a patch that was pushed out. Actually, back in the end of August, it's just taken forever to figure out what's going on. Because essentially, when you create a Windows machine in a corporate environment, it gets its own SID. Just like every time you create a user, you get your own unique SID. But the thing is, it's really freaking handy to clone machines up to and including the SID without just having to deal with sysprep and a bunch of other stuff to make it work the way Microsoft wants it to, when you can just go blip and clone the damn thing. Or if you're lazy and don't have to deal with authentication over Kerberos, new technology, LAN manager, and various other things by having conflicting SIDs of the machine on your Windows environment is this, but then when it tries to connect to this system, it's actually different SIDs, so you've got to deal with some different collisions with credentials. So it's just easy to duplicate the SID as far as everything's concerned. It's the same machine, even though they're different physical machines or VMs. And the latest update, well, not quite the latest anymore. I mean, I guess it is almost October somehow. Oh, wait, almost November. Wait, what month is it again?
I know the time travel does make it difficult. I know that. The time travel.
This is my point. Is that you've just been getting this weird a secure no credentials error, or been seeing a couple of other nonsensical errors that don't make any sense in Event Viewer or in your logs. And so it's recently been figured out, Microsoft is now saying, well, how dare you duplicate a SID across a network with different machines? They're supposed to be unique to each and every single one. That's sort of the idea of it. And they're like, well, because it's easier. But no, apparently now you're going to have to use sysprep and do things the Redmond way, or you're going to start seeing all sorts of weird login failures. Because, that's what you want from your Windows update, is the inability to log into your machines again.
Next, from Ars Technica, an update to a controversial pick of the week last week, which is more of an anti-pick. I don't like liquid glass, and I regret updating my iPhone to iOS 26. And I was complaining about the whole glass thing because you can't see, or at least you couldn't see certain elements. depending
It's
on the
always half
background.
full or it's always half empty, and it just
But now it's fogged.
Here's an example, because when everything is glass with white text and no shading behind the text, now this is a picture of roses, but if this was a picture that had white clouds at the top, you wouldn't be able to see the words because they would have the same color as the cloud. And because there's no shading, no drop shadow, the text just disappears. So that has actually been fixed. Here's an example of what they changed it to. Now there's sort of like a dark mode enabled, so the white text has more of a black background, but it's a transparent black. So just increasing contrast. Who would have thought that makes things easier to read?
Then you can find the UI elements when they're not hiding in the background.
And by the way, I am an Apple developer. I have an Apple developer account. I never made that killer iPhone app back in the day, but I wanted to. I had plans in like 2008. But since that account is still active, I can just flip on like public or developer betas on my phone. And I currently have the latest beta build. And I was looking at it this morning. Those user interface elements are now dark with white text. So I can read them. So they're listening to the feedback. I guess they don't.
So
really
there
feel
you
like
go.
They can do whatever they want after all.
They're probably watching this show and reading our comments.
Well, I know Tim does, but I don't know about anybody
Yeah.
else. I feel like he's pretty influential within Apple.
maybe.
Fairly.
Meh.
Yeah, Johnny Ive is gone now, so. Let's see. Next up, this is from the Register. Turns out the end of Windows 10 is good for something. Now, we alluded to this last week. The PC
We did.
refresh cycle. That's what it's all about. It's about selling hardware. I'm not saying that there's collusion happening. I'm not saying this is all some scheme to get people to buy new hardware. And,
But
Microsoft, who
you're
may or
not
may
not saying it, are you?
Well, Microsoft,
Exactly.
I feel like they partner with system integrators and OEMs. They provide the licenses, and they need systems to be sold for new licenses to be sold. It's just a theory of mine. So maybe this is good for the industry. After
Are you suggesting that we merely follow the money?
I'm
Oh, well,
I'm
that
not
leads to
saying that.
AI,
I'm not
always.
saying that, Brad. But I'm not saying it.
Right. Okay.
Ooh, an uptick of AI PCs
Yep.
forecasted to account for 31% of shipments in 2025.
There were like a handful of stories that I could have drawn in regarding what Microsoft is doing from an AI perspective in the latest Windows 11 builds, or where they're expecting this to go. I think that's what this is alluding to. And I think one of the words that somebody used in the headlines was enshittification. That's a technical term.
It is.
And it means
is now.
to make not as good, or to unmake the goodness, to remove goodness. That's essentially what that means. And yeah, Microsoft is bringing enshittification to the latest version of some would say to the latest versions of Windows 11 using AI to deliver that said enshittification.
The Copilot experience. I mean, who doesn't want a free assistant? It used to be that only the wealthy, the executives, the superstars had an assistant to run their lives.
Or
for
the
them.
people that bought Microsoft Works.
Yes. But now any average Joe can go out there, buy a laptop, and now they have a life assistant, a life coach, somebody they can talk to at any time of the day or night.
There
I
are
like
a
how
lot
you
of
didn't mention
uses.
Trust.
There are a lot of good uses for AI and technology, but forcing it onto people and forcing them to interact with it is probably not the way to do it.
But they've invested so much money into it, they have to force it on you now. Or else, what did it all really mean?
It can do good things for us, even
the
in your personal life.
billions?
This
and
one's
business
not
life,
a bubble.
Billions of dollars, trillions of watts of power. What did it all mean?
I can organize
you
my
wanna know
grocery list
really
so
fun?
much better.
Check if I'm a really fun statistic. There is a 5-year wait list on generating turbines.
Guess why?
5 years.
Wow.
So, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of orders and demand and trying to build up. And yeah, there are going to be some areas that, like Wyoming, they're happy about us here because we do have a lot of wind energy, Still some coal burning plants and gas. So, we've been exporting our electricity when things have been, bad for others. But they're just building more data centers in Cheyenne and eating up that power.
You mentioned eating gas and wind in those last couple of paragraphs. I'm just wondering, Wyoming gets a little cold out there. There's some cowboys out there, probably a lot of beans being consumed. So how much of that could be repurposed?
Maybe.
That's for home heating because they can't buy a generator.
Yeah. All right. Finally, in news this week, this is just a classic, an instant classic story. Cooler Master, this is from PC Gamer. Cooler Master actually recommended this, physically tampering with their angled, not 12 volt high power, 12 volt 2x6 GPU power connector to make it fit better. Literally telling you to take a sharp object and I think trim back part of the clips on the sides that were getting in the way. So
I think release the clips. Although some would say that there's a piece that's actually physically part of the socket that's getting in the way, and they should have suggested trimming that part back, but didn't. And in fact, the suggested fix really doesn't help. Partially due to the deep socketed nature of some of the 12 volt high power or 12 volt 2x6 connectors, that their right angle won't even allow it to fully seat in certain cards. This is
now, I'm not clear. Are you supposed to remove the power supply before you try this, or is it supposed to be hooked up still?
You see the side clips?
Doesn't say in this reply here from the support team that you need to turn off the computer at all. Just
because I'm assuming you're not going to know if it worked or not until it's powered on. So
yeah, the end result here is it doesn't even really fix the problem.
What a terrible design.
Yeah.
So apparently this cable, they claim, was designed to allow you to adjust the angle from 90 degrees.
That's what they're saying. It is a 90-degree connector. Okay, so these images that we're looking at right now are showing how to release the angle, the clip that holds the angled part on the power lines.
So you can just sort of have it dangle
a little bit. They release it slightly.
Sounds safe.
Wow.
Just like a PSU that says user serviceable parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The idea was to put more pressure on the connector. So by wedging it slightly, that was what they were trying to do. And that provides better connection. That was
simultaneously
I don't like it.
Their warranty.
I don't like it a bit.
Because then you burn your system to the ground, and then you contact them, and they say, "Wait a minute, you did what? You used a sharp object to modify our design." Well, somebody in customer support. No authorized person here ever told you to do that.
No.
That was our bot. That was our AI customer support.
And meanwhile, they've got a big whiteboard that they're just putting another chalk mark up on it. Got another one.
You know what time it is?
Welcome to Insecurity Corner, your weekly reason to drink.
And our first story comes from Bleeping Computer. TP-Link warns of critical command injection flaw in Omada gateways.
So you're thinking, this is just going to be another one of those. You've got to be an authenticated user using the administrative interface, and there's a command injection flaw. You need to be half right. One of these two is of that nature, where you have to be a logged in user on the administrative interface, and then you can amplify your privileges. The other one is purely remotely executable, and arbitrary OS commands may be executed on the Omada gateways from TP-Link. So if your business or small company is using an Omada gateway from TP-Link, you might want to swing by the update tab and apply that update. Toot sweet.
And I think they might be understating it because, strangely enough, my wireless access point had a firmware upgrade suddenly today.
So maybe this
not a gateway; it's a WAP.
This flaw is maybe bigger than they're saying. So definitely, if you're on a TP-Link piece of equipment, check to make sure if you don't have an update. Yeah, you might want to update that.
And reboot it just in case.
Yeah, I think the big one is that an 8.7 on the CVSS scale.
Yeah, no, the big one's a 9.3.
There it is. The 9.3.
The other one is an 8.7 because you actually need to be able to be logged in, but at the same time, they both give you the same thing.
The remotely exploitable one is a 9.3, which makes sense. Not quite as high as the one that Microsoft hit recently, but it's good all the same.
No, it's way up there.
Yeah,
a lot higher than we like to see.
Next, stop hard coding certs, tokens, and other authorization in your VS Code extensions. So this is just a friendly reminder that it's probably not the best practice to do this. Why do people do this?
It's so common. It's so common that Jeremy used this intro cartoon, and he didn't have to change the words.
No, I did not. Hell, it didn't even take me 5 seconds to find.
The words are, brain talking to sleeping person. Hey, you going to sleep? And the person's going, yeah, shut up, brain. And the brain goes, you committed the API keys to a public repo. Didn't even have to search long to find that cartoon. So real.
And so this is great because, everyone tends to use VS Code. It's super handy. And one of the nice things is you can design your own custom extension for it so that it can do what you want it to do, like connect to stuff in your environment and maybe external users, customers, that sort of thing. Because over 500 of these extension creators made the choice to hard code in tokens, credentials, encryption keys, certs, any way you could pretty much authenticate online to make the user experience more, easy and it flow. And anyone who could then access that extension through a variety of nasty ways of getting into VS Code and places you shouldn't be, you could have just changed that extension in whatever way you felt like. And because of the way VS Code works, it would automatically just push that update to everyone who's got that extension installed. No, would you like to update? Or, hi, I'm pretty sure that 99% of the update to this extension is a viral load. Maybe you should opt out of this one. No, it just automatically does it. So Wiz Security, who's the one who decided to take a look at it, figured that if they had tweaked one of these extensions, they could have easily infected 150,000 users. There were over 500 extensions that they found, and fortunately only 100 of those actually contained the authentication required to update the extension within itself. Because
the other credentials, it could have been for anything. Yes. It could have been for an S3 bucket. It could have been for some other API that the extension was using. To
Amazon Web Services DNS.
Services. Which briefly didn't work, so they were safe for a little while, but they'd have hacked that one.
But the worst part is the authentication to update the extension was buried within the extension itself. Don't do that.
Yeah, stop doing that sort of thing.
Just stop, please.
I'm trying to think, where does this rate to? I've checked it into Git versus I've actually encoded it into my app. I think that one's worse.
Why not both? In fact, I've embedded the Git credentials into the extension I wrote, which is able to update itself.
Let's extend that thinking. Exactly.
Yes, but they can't, of course, prove it. But they have a strong suspicion that a good chunk of the reason that this is around is because of vibe coding, where you're letting your AI write things for you, and it doesn't care that it's put stuff in there. In fact, it probably wants to because it makes it easier for itself to update itself. Mm-hmm. No worries about this at all. So don't worry. Vibe coding is going to take over every coder's job at crappy places that don't really care about security. Like, oh crap, that's everywhere, isn't it? But there's a good chance this is a bit of vibe coding, but guaranteed there were some people that did it out of sheer convenience. So don't do that. Stop. Yes, you stop. Don't.
All right. We'll stop that story. Moving on from the register, locked out of your Gmail account. Google says phone a friend. And actually, for once, I think this is not a bad idea. Not because I have a relative who's lost access to multiple accounts where I could have.
Well, why do you want to be responsible to help them?
Well, it's just easier that way in the long run.
So let's set the scenario up to say you're 2FAing your way through life now, and you feel pretty good about the fact that no one can ever get into your account, and then you lose your 2FA device. Oh, now what do you do?
Yeah.
This is the sort of the end run around of that particular problem, and as Sebastian points out, maybe some backup to people who just cannot keep themselves logged in or keep forgetting their passwords. And we probably know a few people like that, unfortunately. Sometimes it happens. Anyway, so this is a way to sort of expand that circle of trust and allow a trusted individual or friend or family member to sort of vouch for the request coming from making sure that it's you and that the place that they're trying to get in, say Google in this case, and it's they're vouching for you to say, yeah, we can reset that. Seems pretty
up to
straightforward.
10 of them.
Yeah.
So you can have 10 hopefully trustworthy friends and family that you can do that too, because you suddenly realize that not only was your one 2FA based off of that Gmail account, literally every other 2FA backup you have is strung together with that one single Gmail account trying to prop everything up. Because it happens, because it's convenient. And if you're a glutton for punishment, you're only allowed to be a recovery contact for up to 25 people.
Oh, good.
So
okay.
you can ask up to 10, but you can participate in up to 25. That seems like. Yep. Who are you again?
You have to,
Steve? Oh, this is definitely Steve. Yeah, give him the access to the account.
Table, like, honey, who do we know in Irvine, California? That's my sister. Oh, yeah. Okay. So there's a password reset request. Let me go ahead and approve that.
Yeah,
I have to cross-reference my large Excel spreadsheet that has all of the names and locations of all the people I have to support.
I just wanted to get back to my macaroni.
Right, but it's macaroni I can reheat it. But these people, they need to get into their Google accounts.
And thankfully, Google is being a little bit intrusive. And if a random device just sort of pops up asking for this 2FA process to take, they will look at the history, the IP address, what physical location it's in. So, do we know someone in Abu Dhabi? Oh, yeah. No, we do. Oh, okay. That's cool.
There's a prince there who's going to make me a millionaire.
Yeah, exactly. It's just he needs my access to my Gmail, and I forgot the password.
Yeah,
there will be a little bit of so this also does mean that if you're, you have a friend who has lost access and you happen to be vacationing somewhere strange, you might not actually be able to help them. So, which might be a good thing.
Yeah, I guess.
Unless you told Google you were going there. Like if you send a Gmail to someone saying you would be there from this date to this date, well, obviously Google's going to know about it, so they'll okay it. Or they already know where you are anyway.
They're tracking you all the time.
Yeah, they're very discreet and don't follow you everywhere.
All right, well, that was in Security Corner for this week, and we're going to move to Gaming Quick Hits. There's only 2 on the list, so this will be fairly quick. First, from PC Gamer, the ROG Xbox Ally X at $1,000 available for pre-order in October, making it officially the most expensive Xbox ever.
But it's all Asus's fault. It's not Xbox's fault. It's all Asus's fault.
Isn't the most expensive Xbox ever the new higher priced Xbox Dev Kit, which is now $2,000?
Hush.
It's not really a consumer product, though.
That's right. Yeah. I don't think that counts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So if you've seen the Ally X, the Xbox infused Ally X with the Ryzen AI Z2 Extreme, 24 gigabytes of memory, a terabyte of storage standard. It's already in a 3.5. And that memory, by the way, LPDDR5X 8000. So a lot more memory bandwidth.
So you're saying it's ready? Under 9,000?
Yes.
Sorry. I missed the video cue.
You missed that.
You sure did.
All right. Well, expensive handhelds are going to save us. I think that's where the industry wants to go. Is
Can you plug in a keyboard and like actually do
Yes.
work?
yes.
Okay.
You know, there's a lot of people who are getting off the Windows train with the 10 to 11 switch. You know, we sort of talked about it amongst ourselves. Are they moving to Linux? You know, we threw that out there. Are they moving to Mac? Probably not. Maybe they're just buying a handheld, and $1,000 is a
handle
bargain.
runs Windows 11.
Yeah, but
That
it's just for
handheld
games.
does, and apparently in the 11 environment, it is dog ass slow.
Ooh, that doesn't sound good.
I've seen several reviews for this thing, and every one of them has complained about the interactivity in the 11 environment. It's very slow. Sometimes you click on something and it just sits there and sits there and sits there and then finally does something.
Maybe they're not buying a ROG LIX. Maybe a Steam OS device.
Next up, Battlefield 6 has just been dethroned by 2025's weirdest military shooter.
Escape from Duckov.
From DuckGolf.
Yeah, I think you have to actually play the video to actually just understand.
Yeah, and just play the video and watch people fork over the $20 or whatever it is to pick it up.
So it's duck level combat.
Okay.
They're
It's
ducks
like OG Metal Gear, kind of.
with ducks and
Yeah,
all
with
duck
ducks.
themed things. Yes. So you can see like the psyops ducks, the sniper duck.
All right, this is pretty good.
Yeah, it actually is very enjoyable looking.
I'm seriously considering it. Yeah.
Yeah, look at all this.
Quarter
It's
of a
awesome.
million active player count at the time of this writing. That puts its player count just behind the usual trio of Counter-Strike 2, Dota 2, and PUBG, and above Battlefield 6. Incredible.
Hey, it'll play
And
on
it's
1060.
It's picked up a review of like one of their highest level reviews of like very enjoyable or overwhelmingly positive.
Overwhelmingly
That's
positive.
yeah, that is the Steam rating that all of the developers strive for with their game. Escape from Duckov has achieved overwhelmingly positive.
Nice.
Something Escape from Tarkov never did because, well, it's kind of frustrating occasionally.
Yeah.
And guess what? That was it. That was picks. No, not picks. That was Gaming Quick Hits.
Gaming
Is it?
We're moving to picks of the week.
Wow.
Josh,
Me?
do you have a pick?
You know, it's good that we're going so fast because I didn't sleep well last night, and I got up at like 5, went to bed at midnight, and I'm tired, and so they're in insecurity corner, and I'm starting to do that thing where you're nodding off and you have those instant dreams.
Yeah,
And
time
I'm
travel.
waking up and I'm almost talking about the nonsensical things that I just pseudo dreamed. So, yeah, it could have been a lot more interesting of a podcast, but I abstained from showing off how insane I really am. But speaking of insane, I've been going crazy for sim gear lately. It's one of the fastest growing computer-based and console-based, accessory market. And I was lucky enough to get a hold of the Moza R5 bundle, and I tested that out tonight. And let me tell you, for $439, that is a lot of sim gear. It's a 5.5 Newton meter direct drive wheel. It's a pretty decent feeling wheel. Probably the weakest thing is the pedals. They've got a lot of travel and not a whole lot of resistance. So I could make a wife joke about that, but I'll abstain again. But yeah, no, for $439, it is a heck of a deal. Compared to the budget Ace Tech, their Initium, which goes for $600 and is very similar to this in ways. But again, I was hoping to get that review out this week. life intervened in ways I didn't want to. And yeah, so hopefully next week we can have that up and talk about the Ace Tech Initiative. And in the meanwhile, if you want a really solid direct drive racing bundle for $439, it's a steal.
Thank you, Josh. Jeremy, do you have a pick this week?
I do. It's sort of technologically related, and definitely related to what we were talking about towards the top of the show, and almost completely unbelievable because it involves a government doing something not completely moronic. BC
US or Canadian?
Canadian, but it doesn't matter. They're still idiots.
Oh.
They're just different accented idiots. But so this is the new legislation we've got for our power up here, which is mostly hydroelectric, and you're thank you because, I mean, most of the west coast of the U.S. uses this power and then sometimes sells it back to us because, again, idiots. But there was one part of it which came out which was absolutely wonderful, which I absolutely love. In the next couple of days, there will be a permanent ban on any new BC Hydro connections to the electricity grid for cryptocurrency mining. Period. If you are going to be trying to do some cryptocurrency up here, you will have to provide your own bloody power because BC Hydro, which has a monopoly up here, will not supply you power and will cut you off the moment that they realize that's what you're doing. And that is actually pretty good. Not that, we're bitter about crypto miners at all here at PC Perspective, but hey, I just thought, one little tiny gleam of niceness in this world that we're living in, I thought I'd share it with you. And hey, if you're really bored or getting older, maybe write your local government and suggest they do the same bloody thing.
Brett, do you have a pick this week?
I do. I went with something a little bit more, I guess you'd call it pedestrian, a little bit, but necessary, all the same, to builds. This has got a couple of nice features in it that I would definitely appreciate using in a build. This is the Corsair RM850X Shift, fully modular ATX power supply, 80 plus gold rated, pretty good. ATX 3.1 configuration. 0 RPM option on the fans, of course, which is pretty standard. But I really kind of like the side load modular connector interface that doesn't push all of the cabling towards the front or of the machine. Usually, they come out the side. A lot of times, you're building in a case that has like a couple of different chambers to it, and there's definitely room in that space to bring the cables into where you need them, and having to come up from the back of the power supply, especially if you're like plugging in something later, it is annoying to try and get at those. This could make certain builds a lot easier to do. And this particular power supply, it's on sale for like $30 off, $129.
Kent, I assume you have a pick this week?
I do have a pick this week.
I'm waiting.
We we here at PCPer, we don't just enjoy talking about tech. We enjoy reading about technology. And in the spirit of
isn't it?
In the spirit of the month of October, I thought I would find something that involved the dangers of technology. This is a book. A book.
I didn't click, but I know exactly what it is. I won't tell you why.
You've got to be kidding me.
Nope.
Cable erotica. Oh, God.
The haunted HDMI cable.
Sarah has always been fascinated by haunted houses.
Oh,
it's no wonder that she buys the one in her hometown the first chance she gets. She's going to prove to everyone that she can live in a haunted house longer than anyone. Now, what she doesn't expect is a haunted HDMI cable with her in its sights.
You read the next part.
Hey, are you muted? Kent, hello.
No, can we leave it at that? Can we leave it at that?
Possibly. Oh, his video.
You hear me now?
Yeah, you were frozen.
I think that was probably a whole bunch of stuff we were glad we didn't hear.
There was this sexually charged HDMI cable that just completely.
That's
probably cut him off.
Why he froze.
Yeah, the thing is, I understand that because an HDMI has evolved, it does have some graphic displays.
I see what you did there.
Oh.
He waited to deliver that one. That was definitely on a 3x5 card.
That's good.
No, it was all up here. And Josh is smiling. He's smiling. He didn't wheeze, but he's smiling. And so is Brett, despite his best.
You'll be glad to know it isn't like a 50-foot or 100-foot cable. It's a short story.
It's a grimace. It's a grimace.
It's only 99 cents.
99 cents, exactly.
This is how we get sponsors, by the way. This is it.
99 cents.
This week brought to you by Sin Lee. Sarah Lee's lesser-known younger sibling.
Okay, my pick this week, I had posted a picture of the press release that I got in an email for this new product from Leon Lee. And it's also a power supply, just like your pick, Brett. But this power supply is even more innovative because, okay, Corsair has a modular power supply to manage your cables. So you just don't use the cables you don't need. And then they're also offering the whole side loading thing with the rear panel accessibility.
Yes, but more.
That's cute. What Leon Lee has done is advanced cable management via
this thing?
They have surrounded it with Velcro straps. So you have a non-modular power supply, but there's so much Velcro, you can just strap the cables that you're not going to use to the outside of the PSU. Very convenient.
Oh, they like that.
Isn't that a convenient recessed channel there in the back to hold all of those wayward cables?
It looks like it, at least some of them.
Okay. Yeah.
So it almost looks like they're repurposing an older design with, sticking some Velcro to the side of it. But that's just me being cynical, I guess.
Yeah, maybe.
I thought this was like an April 1st thing, but it's a little late in the year for that. So yeah, that's my pick.
I mean, when you first posted it, before I'd looked at it, I was like, what? They made the cables coated in Velcro so you can stick them to things?
No, but
which almost makes more sense. Almost.
Well, we've all heard about Gate all around. Well, now it's Velcro all around. VAA technology by Intel. Yeah. Only available on 18 amp power supplies.
18 amp. Yes.
Well, sir, it's Velcro all the way down.
Yeah, what they sent me, let's see, here's a picture of the screenshot I'd sent. Integrated cable management system with built-in grooves and Velcro straps for excess cable. Semi-modular design. Allows users to plug in
it's groovy too.
And peripheral cables only when needed.
So it's not even fully modular.
No. This is an older design where the only thing that's not connected permanently are the peripheral connections like Molex and SATA. Everything else is just there. And you have Velcro straps to try to manage it. But then, depending on how much space you have, maybe you can't just wrap it all around the PSU and have it fit in your case.
It's really only Velcro on two sides. The two sides that make the most sense, I must admit. But
okay. All right. I thought it was all around. Sorry.
I don't.
Well, I know when I'm usually doing cable management, I definitely wrap my cables around the PSU and then feed them up into the system. It's natural, right?
It's things like this that are when my friends ask me, you don't seem as interested in building a new computer as you used to. You just really enjoyed it. And it's like, because this is the level of innovation we've got.
You're just pointing fingers now because you are an Intel only guy. And I feel like maybe that has something to do with it.
I'm not Intel only.
Admit it.
That's why there's no spring in his step.
That's why there's no Z890 motherboard in your life right now, is there?
No, that is not true. I have had many, many, many AMD processors.
I didn't say
not at the moment.
I'm talking about Intel and your level of excitement about the latest and greatest Intel desktop parts.
Now, this has more to do with the cases and the others. First off,
Cases?
This graphics card generation has not been well, especially I've got a 4090, so nothing's been exciting. I definitely don't want a 5090 because I don't want to burn my house down.
Come on.
That happens to very few people.
Safe. They're
Very few
relatively safe.
It does happen to very few people, but still, and there was not enough of a jump for me to be willing to spend that kind of money for a 5090. The 5080 actually does not perform as well as a 4090.
No, it doesn't. That was disappointing.
I've not really seen any innovation in the cases I've been receiving to review.
But they're mostly wood now.
Yeah, the small form
that's what we're doing apparently.
Some
the small form
pieces of wood.
factors are interesting. But the all your towers, it's either a fish tank or a mesh front and back, or front and top, and it's just been disappointing, shall we say. And to see a non-fully modular power supply touting the use of Velcro
I'm sorry, I didn't know it was going to hit you this hard.
Apparently, he really led up to this.
It almost hit as hard as that sensual HDMI cable story earlier.
We didn't need to dredge that back up.
Poor Brett.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, Brett. Not terribly sorry, but I am sorry if I've caused you stress and heartache. And
I'm
What
sure.
if that HDMI cable?
Oh, what are you talking about? He's already loaded it to his Kindle.
Stop it.
So I didn't hear what Josh said. Could you please repeat that?
I said, I wonder if that HDMI cable is ARC compatible.
Oh,
Get the return signal. Know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
no, this
All
one
right.
swallows the signal.
All right, let's end the podcast right now. And thank you, everybody, for listening. If you've made it this far, we apologize, but we will come back next year to try to make things right. Yeah, next year.
Next year or next week?
Forget it.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you very much for listening, watching. Next week we'll be back. It'll be our very special annual Halloween episode, which isn't really a thing, but we'll pretend that it is. I will be in full costume, of course,
as usual.
As usual, and we will have an exciting show for you.
I'll probably bring several carved pumpkins like I normally do.
That would be nice.
Yep.
Like a little ambience. I'll change my background
We'll do
lighting
as
to
little as
orange.
possible.
I mean, background lighting, yes. Yeah, definitely doing something.
Wait,
themed
that
like that.
one's already orange, so I got to choose this one.
I always themed the
Sodium's
monitor display with something.
That's right. Where is the monitor background of the week?
I have one cable left to run in another room before I can move up into that space.
Oh,
He
okay.
just unplugged that HDMI cable on the off chance. That's why it's
God,
not
it
there.
was gonna be getting up to something in the background there. All right. Well, I think that's it. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
good night, everyone.
Thank you.